Hey everyone, so let's talk about something we all live with. We have thousands of friends, followers, contacts, all right there in our pocket. But here's the weird thing, right? With all of this connection, so many of us are feeling more alone than we ever have before. Today, we're going to dive into this digital mirage.
And this quote from Andrew Sullivan in New York Magazine, wow, it just cuts right to the heart of it. He talks about how this constant flood of information didn't just distract him, it felt like it changed what it meant to be human. I think, if we're honest, a lot of us can feel that on some level.
So that brings us to the big question, the one we're really unpacking today. If we can reach literally anyone at any time, why does real, genuine connection feel so hard to find? Why is loneliness actually on the rise? It's a huge puzzle, and to figure it out, we've got to look under the hood of our digital lives. Okay, so let's start by dissecting this whole digital mirage. We need to get into the psychology of it all. What's going on behind the scenes that makes our screens so hard to put down, and yet leaves our interactions feeling, well, kind of empty.
So, the secret sauce, the thing that keeps us all hooked, is this principle from psychology called intermittent positive reinforcement. Now, that sounds super academic, I know, but the idea is actually incredibly simple. In fact, casinos figured this out a long time ago. Yep, you heard that right. That little thrill you get from refreshing your feed, not knowing if you'll see a new like, a comment, or a funny video, it's the exact same psychological hook that makes a slot machine so addictive. You pull the lever, maybe you win, maybe you don't. That maybe is what keeps you coming back for more.
And hey, don't just take my word for it. This is coming straight from Sean Parker, the first president of Facebook. He was totally open about it. The goal was to exploit a vulnerability in human psychology. So the key takeaway here is that this isn't some accident. It's a feature, not a bug, specifically designed to create a social validation feedback loop that keeps you glued to the screen. And this chart just lays out the consequence of that design perfectly. On one side, you've got your digital connection. It's all about likes, emojis, memes, it's fast, it's easy, and it's often, a performance, where we're all curating our best lives. But then you look at the other side, genuine conversation. That's about nuance, vulnerability, and sharing a real experience with someone. It's where you truly feel seen and heard. And what's happening is the digital world is training us to accept the shallow stuff as a replacement for the real thing.
So, let's see where this all leads. Because this isn't just about feeling a little disconnected after scrolling for a while. This constant substitution of real connection with these shallow exchanges has spiraled into what a lot of people are now calling a full-blown loneliness epidemic.
Just look at this number, 9 million. Let that sink in for a minute. That's the number of people in the UK alone who said they often or always feel lonely. This isn't some small fringe issue. It's a massive, society-wide problem.
And that's exactly how the experts are starting to talk about it. We have to stop thinking of loneliness as just a sad feeling. It is a legitimate public health crisis. Things got so serious in the UK that back in 2018, they actually appointed the world's first ever Minister for Loneliness just to tackle this problem head on.
And the health risks are, well, they're staggering. We're talking about a direct link between chronic social isolation and an increased risk of dementia, higher rates of depression and anxiety. It's even connected to chronic illness and can literally speed up your cognitive and physical decline. It is as dangerous to your health as smoking or obesity.
Okay, so we've laid out the problem, we've looked at the cause, and we've seen the pretty scary consequences. So what do we do? The answer isn't to just smash your phone and go live in the woods. It's about adopting a whole new philosophy for how we interact with our tech. It's called digital minimalism.
So here's the big idea. Instead of letting your devices use you, you use them. It's all about being incredibly intentional. You figure out what you truly value in your life, your relationships, your hobbies, your work, and then you ask a simple question. What's the best way to use technology to support that one thing? Everything else, it's just noise you can happily ignore.
And this philosophy really boils down to 3 core principles. First, clutter is costly. Every single app, notification, and feed begging for your attention has a price, and that price is your focus and your peace of mind. Second, optimization is key. It's not just about what tech you use, it's about how you use it to get the absolute most value out of it. And third, intentionality is satisfying. There's a deep sense of satisfaction that comes from taking back control and choosing how you engage with the world.
So what does this actually look like day to day? I mean, it's a great philosophy, but how do we go from just talking about it to actually reclaiming that real, meaningful connection in our lives? Here are just a few really practical ideas to get started. Try setting aside time to just be in solitude.
No phone, no podcasts, just you and your own thoughts. Actively try to replace a low-value click, like just liking a photo, with a high-value conversation, like actually picking up the phone. You could even try something like scheduling conversation office hours, where you let friends know it's a great time to call for a real chat. And finally, try prioritizing a demanding, hands-on hobby over just passively scrolling.
So, I'll leave you with this one question to think about. This isn't about some massive life overhaul overnight. It's just about making small, intentional choices. So ask yourself, what is one real-world interaction? A coffee with a friend, a phone call to your mom, 5 minutes of just playing with your kids. What one real thing will you choose over the pull of a notification today?